Hello, everybody. What's up, my lovelies? I am happy, very happy, and I hope you all are happy to taking life one day at a time. Yeah? Once again, I want to welcome you all to Overcomers Connect with AB and Beck. So, fellows, today I want to talk about the phenomenon called pain and suffering. Okay? Yes, you heard me right. Pain endurance, is a big issue in the African community. Oh, yes. And how we tend to quantify pain, how we tend to perceive pain and suffering. So that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, fellas? So you see, pain and chronic suffering are taken, or they are often seen as a norm in the African community. To the extent people have become insensitive to other people's hurt and pain. Oh, yes. Sensitizing to suffering hardly come by. Instead, people are judged. People are seen as a weakling for showing pain. Okay? For showing pain. So, if you cry out, your pain and sufferings are always being compared to other people's suffering and challenges, and how they've been able to manage their own pain, their own challenges, or whatever adversity they are going through in their own lives. Okay? Your pain is often, I noticed that your pain is often undermined to the extent it takes only death sometimes to prove to people that you were actually suffering. Okay? That you were actually suffering. And then not until that happens, people don't come to the realization that yes, this person was actually saying the truth. This person was actually going through a lot. But their pain was undermined. So, fellows, like I said, your pain is often undermined. Even if you are crying on top of your lungs, it is undermined. It takes only death to prove you were actually suffering or you were actually feeling pain for people to say, wow, he or she was crying out of pain for a long time. Oh my God. I did not know the pain was that serious, until the person died, until he died, until she died. I know she was crying out of pain. I know he was crying out of pain, but I never knew it was that serious. That's something I have noticed in my community. And that is when people listen. By the time they offer a listening ears to that person that is crying out for help, it is already too late. Okay? It is already too late. So, my people, pain or suffering may look alike. Okay? But it is an individualized phenomenon, as two different people may be exhibiting the same symptoms. But those symptoms can be handled differently. Okay? It is disastrous to start comparing one person's suffering to another person's pain. No. it is not right. Okay? So if I may ask, at what level of pain is defined as pain? Eh? You hear things like, oh, her husband just died and now she wants to kill herself. In fact, look at Mrs. Johnson that lost her family in one day, and she's up and running about as if nothing happened. You know? Please leave her to cry or die if she wants to die. She's just seeking attention. Those are some of the things you hear. Or if it's a man that is complaining of pain or hurt in his life, you will hear people say something like, oh, phew, that guy, his wife left him and now he has become suicidal. He wants to kill himself. What a foolish man. Because of a woman? You want to die? Please leave the man there. Just leave him there. Can't you see, for example, Mr. Ezekiel? The same thing happened to him. Instead of him sitting down to whip himself to stupor, he immediately married a younger woman as young as his daughter's age. And look at this one here, sitting down and crying like a child. Get up, man. You see? They will not help or support you through the process, but we even go ahead to judge you and blame you for crying out or for exhibiting your pain or suffering as a human being that you are. Huh? The gross lack of sensitization and treating pain and suffering as a general or cultural norm instead of an individualized phenomenon is nerve-wracking to me, just to say the least. Okay, I just want to share an anecdote here. During my spinal cord injury hospitalization, right, while I was going through sudden paralysis with a stage 4 pressure wound, I was in shock. I had a life-changing and traumatic situation and experience with brutal and cruel treatments without even anesthesia of any kind. Yet, crying out was so frowned at while I was in the hospital. Crying out was frowned at as I was seen as though like my situation was a token compared to what others were going through or those that have already died. I heard stuff like, oh, Miss AB, just thank God. Just thank God you are alive. What of those people that are dead? Okay? Stop crying. You are disturbing others, huh? And one day I sat down, I'm like, this MF, life is for the living. What is life if you cannot live it in the joy and if you cannot live it if you cannot live it in joy and free from chronic pain and suffering? Huh? And on the other hand, my Christian folks will come visiting and some will say, oh, sister, just thank God for everything, okay? Remember Job in the Bible, how he lost everything and God still blessed him exceedingly afterwards. And they just go on and on and on with Job's story. Folks, until I started fuming with rage out of pain, out of grief, for all that I have lost, for all that I was going through, I'm like, excuse me, I am not Job, okay? I am a woman, I am a lady. Job in the Bible was a male. How am I supposed to look unto Job when he is a man? supposedly built and prepared to shoulder all the misfortune he encountered. When even Job's wife couldn't bear the sight of his suffering and illness and they all ran away, they left him, they abandoned him. How am I supposed to compare myself to Job? Huh? My dear, though I understand that we're being metaphorical, but then the comparison at that time invalidated and undermined my feelings of pain and sufferings, coupled with the effort I was putting in and the desperation, okay, for me to survive. Fellows, pain and suffering should not be a norm in our communities, because it is not. As Africans or richly tanned people, you can still live a soft life free of chronic suffering, free from pain, and that impoverished life that they tend to characterize Africa with. We can actually live free from that. Okay? Pain is not ingrained in our DNA from creation. Hell no. Oppression, bad leadership, slavery, colonization, and all other isms towards people of African descent perpetuated what we see and experience today as suffering and lack, aka poverty. Oh yes. Come on. We are blessed people and continents. God has given us everything we need without suffering for a day. We can actually just say, okay, we want to live with what we have from generation to generation. We don't have to suffer. But you see, oppression took everything from us and made us see ourselves as enemies, which are now competing on who can endure pain or suffering better. Yes, because our daily life alone is full of challenges and fighting 10 times harder than other folks to get the basic necessities of life. Or just to mainly survive, we have to fight 10 times harder. Okay? My lovelies, life shouldn't be like that. We all deserve happiness. We all deserve to live a soft life too, like other people. It does not have to always be a hard knock life for us. So please, show empathy, show compassion towards one another. Sensitize with your fellow human being going through challenges or pain. And do not forget to also be compassionate with yourself. When somebody cries out and say they feel pain, if you are not opportune or you don't have the time or the patience to listen to them, to understand them, but please don't judge them. Do not compare their suffering to that of another person. The head of an elephant could be heavy to the elephant, but it's just the same way the head of an ant is heavy to an ant. We cannot continue to live in a society, in a community where we think pain is the order of the day, where we think pain is a daily, is a societal mode for us. I went through it and I saw that no, people were just like, no, they were not sensitizing with what I was going through, with my experience, even if I was crying out with my last breath that I was going to die out of pain. They weren't seeing it like that. They thought my pain was little. They undermined and invalidated my pain. They compared my pain to other people. No! I am me, fellas. You are you. Like I said from the beginning, we could have the same symptoms, but we manage it differently. We feel it differently. We react to it differently. And life does not have to be filled with pain and suffering. Okay? So please, be kind to yourself, folks. It is time we stop this smiling and suffering culture, because God has blessed us. And we can also live a soft life. We can also enjoy, okay? And understand ourselves too. Because it worked for you does not mean it has to work for the other person. Because you don't feel pain does not mean other people don't feel it when it happens to them, when they are traumatized, when something happened to them. We are all wired in different ways. So let's respect that, okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for watching this video. Please kindly share. If it interests you, share. Follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, bye-bye.